Hey guys, welcome to another market review session with us again. All right, it's a new week, and let's just quickly look at what we expect to happen in the market during the course of this week. All right, so first off, the way we do it here, we usually look at the currency indices first before looking at currency pairs. So first off, let's look at DXY, the US dollar currency index, and for this week, we'll be expecting, I will be expecting a movement, as you can see on my screen. I'm expecting a sort of sell to buy movement to happen on DXY. Sell to buy movement happen on DXY. Currently, we are in a zone that I'm very, very curious about. I marked this out using my Fibonacci. This is between 104.694 and 104.442. All right, so we're somewhere in there, and I'm expecting a bearish reaction from there. All right, however, my more preferred zone for a bearish reaction is still quite far off. These are 104.993 and 104.825. All right, so I'll be expecting maybe something like this, pending when we get there. All right, so something towards this end. But overall, just from what you can see on my chart, I'm expecting a sell to buy movement on DXY. So probably during the early days of this week, we'll probably be seeing some weakness from DXY, some weakness from the US dollar. All right, next up, let's look at BXY, which is the Great British Pound Currency Index. And give me a minute, my chart seems to still be loading. All right, but so for BXY, I'll be expecting a reverse. All right, so I'll be expecting a buy to sell on BXY. Currently, we just got to see candles break below this previous low. All right, and currently I'm watching out for a retracement, as it were. All right, if you notice, this was the previous high that was made. All right, and then we've gotten the fact that price has broken all these previous highs before there. All right, so I'm just watching out for the possibility of price reversing just a little bit. All right, before we get to see the continuation for the bearish move on BXY. So as I said earlier, I'll be expecting a buy to sell movement to happen on DXY. I hope that is clear also. All right, next up, we'll be looking at AXY, which is the Australian dollar currency index. All right, and similarly to what we saw, this was around February. All right, 24th, oh, sorry, 2nd or 3rd of February. 2nd of February, we're going to see this amazingly long wick, all right, candle. As you can see, we've gotten to see something similar happen. All right. So currently for this week, I'll be expecting AXY to gain some strength. All right, probably for the earlier days before it continues. All right, or it gets weaker again. All right, this zone I have marked out below here is between 64.64 and 64.41. All right, I'm watching out for price being attracted towards that zone. All right, so but for the meantime, I'll watch out for that push up. All right, probably fill up this gap just a little bit, and then we get to see price fall towards the downside. All right, so I hope that is clear also on AXY. Next up, let's look at CXY also. All right, the Canadian dollar currency index. And similar to what we said, I think this was for the dollar, the US dollar, I've already forgotten now. All right, but I'll be expecting a sell to buy to also happen on CXY, a sell to buy to happen on CXY. Now, however, this would only hold if I can see price, like if I can see a new candle being made that comfortably breaks below this point. All right, this is around 73 points, let's say 73.49 or 73.50 thereabout. All right, I want to see a candle properly break below this. All right, if I can see that, then definitely I'll be expecting price to still drop a bit more into this zone. I've marked out this zone for quite some time now. This is between 72.88 and 72.39. So I'm watching out for there. Also watch out for this point. I'm expecting a little bit of a reaction from, right, as a resistance, all right, 73.00. All right, so that being said, just to clarify, my bias on CXY will just be sell to buy. All right. Again, just as a disclaimer, let me just repeat myself. If at all we get to see this point, all right, this 73.50, if I get to see that line, all right, that horizontal line still holds as a fair enough support, then definitely what will just be happening will be that we get to see price just pull up a little bit. All right, so we can just probably get to see that buy towards there, or we can just get to see that buy rather happen directly from there. However, even if that happens, I will not be expecting that buy to last for too long, or it will probably be a very short buy, and then we'll get to see that sell continuation. All right, so that is clear also for CXY. Next up, let's look at the JPY basket. All right, and for JPY basket, I will be expecting us to be bearish. All right, not too strong, all right, on JPY basket. If you notice, we've gotten to break below these two zones, all right, these two previous zones. I think we can delete this for the meantime. All right, this is on the 4-hour time frame. If you notice, we usually stick towards the 4-hour time frame, right, so that we can get a bias that would last at least for the majority of the week. All right, so usually my analysis deals with the daily towards the 4-hour, probably the 2-hour time frame also. All right, so still going on. All right, you can see that this is a support, or this was a previous support, 1-2 touches. All right, and it got broken here, right, and we are seeing, or we are watching out for the possibility of price of that zone, as it were, becoming a pivot. All right, this is between 6456 and 6436. All right, so I'm watching out for that also. All right, so my bias for JPY basket for the course of this week is bearish. I think for a while now I've been saying it, that my bias overall for JPY basket is quite bearish. All right, so I'll just be watching out for that. If you notice, this is where we're currently in a fair value gap. All right, and we are going to see some rejection from that point. All right, so I want to see price fall towards the downside, and that will only hold if this zone also holds. All right, so let me just put this out there. If this zone does not, however, hold, all right, if this zone gets broken, this would be my next point that I'll be looking at. Also an FVG, all right, between 6522 and 6500. All right, 6522 and 6500. All right, so I hope that is clear for JPY basket. Quickly, let's look at some of the commodities that we have for today. We're looking at, first off, everybody's favorite, gold. All right, XAU USD. And currently you see that we saw that, I think this was during the course of last week also, we got to see price. All right, was this last week? Yes, this was last week. So we got to see price, so we got to see gold make a new high. All right, a new all-time high again. All right, I think this was the previous one. It has just been doing like that. All right, but that being said, I want to watch out for this. I want to watch out for a buy to sell movement to happen on gold. I want to watch out for a buy to sell movement happen on gold. So I'll probably be watching out for a rejection towards the upside from this zone. It is very possible that we might still get to see price push a bit deeper into this zone. All right, this zone is around 2158.43 and 2149.53. all right, so I'll just be watching out for the possibility of price still tapping a bit into that zone before we get to see that bullish move. But this is a very quote unquote hopeful, all right, I'm putting that in quotes, all right, approach. All right, the sell, however, is quite hopeful. All right, it would be more convenient, or it would be better for me to put something towards this end. Let me just give me a minute, please. Let me delete this. Sorry, for me, please. So this would be, this, so to speak, would be what I'll be expecting. However, there is the possibility of us having a rejection from there, and then coming towards the downside. All right, so let's just leave it as it is, like this. All right, so I'll be expecting some level of bullishness, as it were, on gold during the course of the week. So probably let's see what will happen till Thursday. All right. So yes, that'll be my bias on gold. All right, on gold. So next up, let's look at USD CAD. USD CAD, let me just quickly. All right, wonderful. So for USD CAD, I have a zone marked out here. Oh, sorry. I have a zone marked out here that I have been watching out for quite some time now also. It's quite a big zone. All right, so this is, as I said earlier, we're just looking at the higher time frames to get our general bias for the week. All right, so this is between 1.38185 and 1.37291. All right, so I'm watching out for a sell from there. However, for the course of this week, I want to watch out for two things. Now, overall, I'll be watching out for bearishness, all right, for weakness, as it were, on USD CAD. So I'll be expecting sales to happen on USD CAD, all right, in the course of this week. However, I'm not so sure that sell will last long. All right, that's why I can see that from this zone. All right, this is a resistance that has held up quite a number of times here. All right, it hasn't been broken yet. We've had about 1, 2, 3, about 4 or so touches, all right, from that area. All right, and I'll be expecting still, all right, we'll probably get to see a bearish, rejection or a bearish reaction from that area. All right. However, I want to watch out for. I'm not going to say that will last long. All right. I think I said something similar for gold also. I'm not going to necessarily watch out for that to last long. So even though my bias is still bearish to some extent, I'm watching out for possible reversals during the course of this week. All right. So during the course of this week, I put this second arrow here to just signify that if at all I get to see that this place is broken, all right, I get to see that price probably breaks above that is around 1.36171 or so. I was just watching out for probably lower time frame confirmation, and then I'll find a way to get in on that buy till I get to see price come into this zone I marked out and I gave us coordinates for earlier. All right, so I hope that is clear on USD card. Next up, let's quickly look at GBP JPY, or then look at GBP USD. All right, so I believe that what I have here on my chart for GBP JPY is quite straightforward. All right, I'll be bullish, all right, on GBP JPY during the course of this week. Give me a minute, please. Yes, I'll be bullish on GBP JPY during the course of this week. There's a very possibility that we still get to see price pull a bit, into this zone. All that being said, whatever the case is, I would be simplistically just bullish on GBP JPY during the course of this week. All right, so I hope that is clear also on GBP JPY. Next up, let's look at GBP USD, and similar to what we saw for GBP JPY, similar, all right, I'll be expecting that bullish move to also happen on GBP USD. All right, it might not be like I've been saying, all right, it might not necessarily be something that will last long. All right, it might not be like a buy that will break the previous high or whatever, but still, for the most of this week, all right, for probably Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, possibly into the early hours of Thursday, I'll be expecting that to happen. So same for GBP USD. I'll be bullish on GBP USD. All right, if at all I'm going to pick a point where my bias will start changing on GBP USD. All right, I'll probably want to mark out somewhere along here. Somewhere along here looks like the most befitting or point to watch out for as for sell rejections. All right, from all right, so that is clear for GBP USD also. Next up, let's look at AUD USD. Oh, sorry, let's look at USD CHF. All right, let's look at USD CHF, USD CHF. So USD CHF, I believe my bias virtually is quite straightforward. All right, you can see that we're in the supply zone. All right, and I'm expecting a bearish rejection from there. I'm expecting us to sell, all right, during the course of this week on USD CHF. Again, it's not necessarily going to be a long sell. It's very likely not going to be a long sell. All right, but I'll be expecting, at least for the early days of this week rather, that sell to happen on USD CHF. All right, next up, so that won't take too much time, let's look at AUD USD. And I think for AUD USD, my bias is a bit more complicated. All right, we've seen that currently we got to see this bullish. I think I gave this we gave this as our bias during the course of last week, all right, for price to still come into this zone, and then we got to see our buy. Again, price has come into that zone. All right, so the effectiveness of that zone would have been diminished by now. All right, so meaning that we've had another touch inside that zone. We've had the first touch inside that zone, showing us that now if price at all is going to come back to that zone, it won't be as strong as it was earlier. All right, so that being said, still similar to what I said for some other commodities, some other pairs, I'll be expecting a buy to sell movement to happen on AUD USD. However, I will not be holding that buy for so long. I will not be holding that buy for so long. All right, so it is very possible that we get to see price use this. In fact, it's very, very possible because we just get to see price use this, all right, as its point for react, as its order block to react, or just get to see a short buy to sell, all right, on AUD USD. All right, so how that is clear, that'll be my bias on AUD USD for this week. All right, next up, let's look at Euro USD, then we'll look at USD JPY also. So for Euro USD, something similar to what I just said for AUD USD, a buy to sell. All right, so we're going to see that price broke this previous low, has broken, all right, this previous low. Now this was a point that actually held up for quite a while. It was a resistance here, became a support, that whole pivot and everything now. All right, so it's very likely that we will get to see price push up just a little bit. All right, okay, I'm seeing this, so let me just mark it out. Let me just mark this little place out. All right, so let's see something along this line. All right, so there's just every possibility for us to just have that short buy. All right, so a sell on Euro USD. All right, the buy might not necessarily stop here, might still go up a bit more. All right, but overall, I'm just trying to show you that my bias for Euro USD for this week will be for a buy to sell. All right, on Euro USD. I hope that is clear also. All right, next up, quickly, we'll be looking at USD JPY, and for USD JPY, I believe I'm going to be very, very careful here because I want to be very watchful for what will happen on USD JPY. Currently, price has multiple times entered this zone. Let me see if I can minimize that. All right, you can see it from here. All right, is this our all-time high? I'm not sure. I do not think it is. Let me quickly go up to the weekly time frame. We'll come back to that. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Definitely isn't. All right, so let's go back down to the 4-hour time frame. All right, as you can see here, we've had multiple touches inside this zone. All right, now price has come here again. All right, now I am tempted to tell you that we'll just enter for one very long-term sort of sell from this point. However, I will be very careful. All right, so again on USDJPY, just watch out for possibly a short sell to buy, on USDJPY. As you can see here, even the reactions that we've gotten here are not so clear. You can see that price has entered the zone quite comfortably. We've had a little bit of some mixed moves, so to speak, happening inside this zone. So I'll be watching out for just that possibility of just a little bit of a drop. All right, possibly sweep liquidity from this week here, enter into this FVG, and then we get to see price push up towards the upside for that bullish move. All right, so I hope that is clear for USDJPY. All right, USDJPY. Next up, let's look at let's look at AUD/NZD. All right, so let's look at AUD/NZD. Yeah, so for AUD/NZD, something similar to what I just said. All right, AUD/NZD, if you look at this zone also, we've seen that price has entered this zone quite well, and the reactions that we're having are not as spontaneous, and they're not as sharp as we would need, all right, or we'll be expecting. All right, so I might want to see price still push up a bit into the zone before I get to see that bearish move, or so to speak, happen on AUD/NZD. Now, this being all of this being said, this sell exactly might not be as long as this. Let me just bring it somewhere towards here. So yeah, all right, so I'll be expecting a buy to sell to happen on AUD/NZD as long as this zone holds. All right, so if I get to see price breaking this zone, then definitely I'll just be watching out for price to come up towards this side again. All right, to come up, and this around, let me just give us the coordinates. All right, I think I forgot to give the coordinates for the other ones, but still, let me just give us this one. All right, 1.09021 and 1.08557. All right, so that's where I'm watching out for a bearish move to happen from currently. All right, so I hope that's clear also for AUD/NZD. All right, next up, let's look at, I think AUD/CHF also. I'm quite interested in this guy. All right, so this was analysis I had quite some time ago, and price didn't get to come down to come and meet me. All right, all the same. All right, currently we've seen that this is another block that actually worked for quite some time. All right, we got 1, 2, 3, three rejections from that other block before price finally broke above that. Now, this is looking to me like a typical break and retest. All right, so that being said, I'm watching out for just the possibility of price just pushing down a bit, but overall I'm watching out for buys to happen on AUD/CHF. So I'm watching out for buys on AUD/CHF. All right, so I hope that is clear. Now, I'm not sure if I already mentioned USD/CHF earlier. Let me just go back to it again. I feel like I said it, but I'm not sure if I did, so I'm just going to go back. I think I did. I feel like I did, but in case I didn't, all right, yeah, I'm just going to be expecting a bearish a sell, right, on USD/CHF. So I'm expecting USD/CHF to sell. AUD/CHF, however, let's go back to that. So AUD/CHF, I'm expecting a buy instead. All right, so I hope that is clear. All right, on these commodities. Thank you very much for joining us for tonight's market review. All right, please do well to like, all right, to share, to subscribe, comment. All right, if you have any commodities you'd love for us to look at together, please do also comment, and we will get to them immediately. All right, we'll be able to send them possibly on our Telegram group. All right, so thank you very much for joining. I am very sure we're going to have a profitable week. All right, do also manage your risk. All right, adhere very strictly to your risk management principles. All right, so